Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here with another important guest. Is Dr. Punso Wamo. She's a Tibetan doctor coming from East Tibet. She has been trained herself in a proper curriculum of Tibetan medicine in the University of Lhasa, and she studied with one of the foremost Tibetan doctors of her time. And she then had also a lot of clinic experience in the remote nomadic areas of the East Tibet. And in 2000, around 2002, she came to Western world. So I think something very special about Dr. Wamo is that she has both this experience of she comes from a very traditional, her Tibetan medicine lineage is very traditional, but she also had many years experience working as a doctor in the Western countries. She came to United States where she basically still live there, even though she's traveling all around the world. And since in 2007, she founded an association a professional association for Tibetan doctors living in Western countries, especially in USA. And in 2012, she became the director of the Shanshun School of Tibetan Medicine, whose founder was the Professor Namkhai Norbu, who personally chose her as a director of the school. The school is a school with more than 30 years, and it's the goal was to diffuse the knowledge of Tibetan medicine and to preserve Tibetan medicine, but also the perspective is very holistic and very integrative in the sense that the idea is to help people in the Western world to use some tools coming from this old tradition that can be very beneficial nowadays. Welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
So my first question for you, Dr. Punso Wamo, is, first of all, I also would like to introduce this book that has been recently published in Spanish. It's a book that was written by Professor Namkhai Norbu, and the original title was Birth, Life and Death. And the good news is that recently there is a Spanish edition that's called Nacimiento, Vida y Muerte, has been published by a famous editorial, which is Kairos. So I would like to use this book as a guideline for our interview, if you don't mind.
That is usually good.
So this is a very precious book. And the first thing that caught my attention was because in the beginning of the book, there is an introduction on Tibetan medicine. So I was really wondering, and especially, there should be a reason of that. And why do you think that this ancient traditional medicine can still be very useful nowadays in Western countries? Because the majority of people here, maybe they had some ancient traditions, but they definitely, they might not know Tibetan medicine. And do you think it's still very valid and can be used also for us Westerns that don't come from those lineages?
Yeah, I have this Birth, Life and the Death, this book, fortunately access a while ago before published translated into Spanish. So I really thankful to Rinpoche read this such wonderful a book of Tibetan medicine to introduce for the new audience or people who does not know so much about the Tibetan culture, Tibetan medicine. So really it's very useful, very important. But in the meantime, even people who study Tibetan medicine, even people who like myself studied Tibetan medicine in Tibet, practice in Tibet, young to the old. But still, this book really, I personally found is a very precious book. Not only information about the Tibetan medicine, but it's a whole different way of explaining. At least that's what I could learn, that's what I in my perspective this is slightly different. So it's a wonderful book. So whenever I have an opportunity, if someone asks me which book I should read, always I say, go to read the Birth, Life and the Death. That book is the best book. since you asked me, this is my best mood. So the connected you with your questions, the ancient Tibetan medicine, as we know, over 4,000 years, close to 5,000 years history of medicine, still is very applicable. The number one, I think, very simply, is that the human body. This body, mind, energy, which we call in the Tibetan, which is the body. As it does not matter which century is, this is where we target toward. The meantime, this body, we consumed food, drink, and we have all those emotions, happy, sorrow, this and that. So it's basically same. Maybe in ancient time we don't have many floors of the buildings. Maybe we are not flying up and down constantly like today. Maybe all the food is not packaged and labeled like today supermarket. But is that the 5-element composed human body utilizing, consuming 5-element food. So I think that is the main things. And then in the Tibetan medicine we say, does not matter where you live, your emotion is always with you. So this also I really see comes from the remote area, go to the very modern society, comes from the poor background, go to the very rich sort of like regions where the rich country comes. As all have same issues. None of them it's of course slightly different issues, but is also for some reasons, some degrees. So I think this is the main sort of like function, like benefits whole.
Yeah. And if I would ask you, because, well, I think this is the common base of all the medicines, no? The medicines are connected to the body and that take care of the suffering, no? But in previous talk with you, it looks like that there is something very special about the way that the approach of Tibetan medicine that can really make it very useful, no? Nowadays, as to integrate other kind of medicine. What do you think will be this special aspect?
I see the Tibetan medicine, even though the root of the Tibetan medicine came from Tibet, but is how they later the composed that the books itself is very integrative. And also when we apply to the person is very holistic. And then the goal of the Tibetan medicine is not to treatment, to prevent. Your health is on your hands.
It's very nice.
So this is a Tibetan medicine we sort of like believe, and then also we think that should be followed.
That's very nice what you say, because there is the tendency when you are sick is to give the responsibility of our health to someone else. No?
Yes, because many times we blame to, this food, that environment, that type of the chemicals, this one, that one, side effects, so on and so forth. We blame a lot. But is true to your health is in your hand.
Yes, I like it.
And when we're talking, we say like the conditions of the disease there is 4. The trauma could be 1, season, temperature, or this like a natural disaster could be 1. And other is the diet, the behavior. So the trauma and the natural disaster, like season issues, we may not able to control day by day, but the diet behavior is something later.
Yes. The food we put in our plate, we can control.
We need to work to make money, go to shop to buy, bring back, chop them, cook them, put it in the plate, eat. by, mouth by mouth. So this is something directly connected to us. So if we are aware enough, if we really think my health is in my hand, if we have this kind of idea since the beginning, I think we all do better. Yes. But sometimes we learn that it's a little too late when we have some experience of the health. Then we try to think a different corner. Then we try to follow something. But this, The Birth, Life and the Death, this book, the first page, this book Rinpoche said is everybody should learn medicine. That does not mean we all should become like a medicine doctor. No. But is it to able to think, able to protect ourselves based on our body, which kind of food I should eat and which kind of food I should not eat. So I thought this first page, I read many times. I think many times. And then really I learned a lot from that.
So it looked like you mentioned a very important aspect. While I was listening to you, I was reflecting diet, looks like, and behavior. Maybe behavior is more connected to our lifestyle, no, I imagine. But going to diet, which I think is a very important aspect. Nowadays, we have many diets, different diets, the keto diet, this diet, the vegan, the vegetarian, no? So it looks like the world is pointing the attention on diet as a very important tool to maintain the health. So I know it's a huge topic, but if you can tell us something, and something that makes the approach on diet of Tibetan medicine, maybe the specificity, no, compared to other approaches. I know I'm asking you a lot, but maybe you can try to give us an idea.
Yeah. I think it's now, maybe the one could be in the majority countries in the global economic is something getting better. Based on that, maybe people's looking more the help. I don't know. Maybe they're getting more better education, so they more learning their own health. Maybe could be is that the nature of the food is changing, because used to is not labored everything buying, but today is everything labored buying. So not only that the labor issue, but it's a international import, and then this country maybe they're putting different things. Maybe the nature of the food is changing. Maybe the harvest is very early. Before the ripping the fruit. Yes, majority. So I do not know really exactly. I didn't research this part, but it's now the people facing more and more sufferings compared the before. Just simple one example. My mother telling me when she was young, in her village, there's one doctor. Many times there's no patient. But the meantime, the most people looks like living good age. And then there's no any electric support, so they're living pretty good health. But today is my time. Every corner of the city, there is a clinic. So there is a hospital running by government, big hospital. There's smaller hospital running by the state. And then there's a smaller running by the private. So there is many hospitals, clinics, this and that. Meantime, each of them is so busy. Yes. So I do not know, as I said it before, what the changing, but the health issue is arising. Not only the physical health issue, but also mostly like the emotional, because maybe it's just too much changing. I don't know. Included also our climate is changing. Now is more like disasters, more like frequently appearing.
Yeah, we're coming from
Yeah.
epidemic. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So all those kind of things, we have plenty of things to deal with. I think that this kind of things making people really is a hard time. So there's a lot of issues. Due to that issue, they're getting a lot of, healthcare professional really they work really hard. I really want to say each of those people for creating, this diet, behave, teaching, providing, producing. I really want to say each of them really thank you. It's just such a wonderful job, such a wonderful, really, contributions to the humanity. Of course, in this moment, in these occasions, also Tibetan medicine has benefited to the humanity. We also wanted to contribute into this global, because this also my teachers, ancestors, their goal. And the father of the Tibetan medicine, we call the Yuto, he said, I wish to benefit this healing system, reach as large as the sky, and benefit as much as the beings who live under the sky. That's beautiful. So this was sort of like the father of the Tibetan medicine, his goal. And is closely my teacher, Naganobu Rinpoche. He's my root guru. So Rinpoche also wanted this Tibetan medicine. Yesterday we had a Zoom class. I'm telling a little bit of stories, histories of the Tibetan medicine. 1983, he organized Tibetan medicine conference in Italy, Venice, as international aspect. So that time is not easy to organize international Tibetan medicine conference in Venice. There's not so many Tibetans at the time outside there. There's not so many people know what is the Tibetan medicine. One time he said when he in Italy, sitting some on the bench, someone comes say, where are you from? Then Rinpoche say, you guess me. Philippine, Indian, Nepalese. And the end when he's, I'm Tibetan, they think, what? Where's the Tibet? Yeah, so this time really to organize a something Tibetan medicine conference is not easy. He did that because he also a scholar, not only a general scholar, but he also is a very good Tibetan medicine doctor. Most of those Tibetan scholars, great masters, was a Tibetan medicine doctor. Because medicine, one is they learned medicines because if you want to study later like yoga, certain teaching understand without basic of the medicine you cannot get there, because when you study all those yoga, Tongkot, Zalung, you need this understand of the body and the energy of the body. So that is really well explained in the Tibetan medicine.
And if I would ask you more specific about the diet, why should Western people study diet or be interested in Tibetan medicine? What can be the specificity, since there is many option of many diets?
Yes.
So once more, we are back with Teke Phuntsho Wamo. And I would like to, she has been explaining, trying to give us an overview of Tibetan medicine and the importance that Tibetan medicine can have, a little bit of history. Also, she gave an interesting perspective of this book. For what I understood from her words, what is really peculiar of this book is that it's the entire construction of the book, the way that Namkhai Norbu was organizing all the information, because there's a lot of information actually. And I was talking a little bit more with her. I was really curious about, so my question maybe would be, why do you think that nowadays in Western world people will benefit by understanding and maybe even studying? Because I know that the Shanshan School of Tibetan Medicine does also training, no? So why would it be so important for Western people to study Tibetan diet, no? Because there is a huge offering of diet, and so what is the specificity of this diet?
Yeah. So as you said before, there's a lot of diet. Each of them is wonderful. But the Tibetan medicine, not only in diet, but any aspect also comes to the therapeutic or treatment or cantidone, whatever we call, is individual, not something that everybody should do this way or that.
Yes.
We don't say potatoes are not good. We say potatoes are good, but who's eating? So this, I think, the individual to make it more access to the people, more effective, and less side effects. So that's what I see, because it's a different age, different region, different season, different personalities, different health conditions, different lifestyle. Should not be seen open,
So it looks like it's a diet where, and you can use this word customized, no?
Yeah.
That diet would be for me because I would have more clear understanding of who I am, and then I can have.
Yes, and then that diet sometimes could apply the people who live in that regions, people who have similarities, These kind of good sometimes could apply, but it's basically everything individual. So that I think is very unique with the medicine, since to making formula up to the prevent using the diet. So this is what I see. So the Tibetan medicine, yes, now Shanshan School, the Tibetan medicine, we teach Tibetan medicine diet, and the people like diet courses. People feel this is useful for them, useful to their families, useful to their friends. Also, we have a very amazing comments, feedbacks from the student. We are still sort of like, everything is till to the death is still is learning, Every day is something to learn,
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress. Experience is sort of like a learning.
Yeah.
So throughout this, the experience or learning, like teaching Tibetan diet, we have really amazing comments, feedbacks from the student. So as a teacher also who's making the curriculum for that, I'm really happy about that. I really feel I'm making something happy for my teachers. So that's really, I feel that. Of course, as they said, also benefiting for the individual students, their families, their friends, because many of our students has some different healthcare professional background.
Yes.
And they want to do something integrate with their existing knowledge and to make the knowledge more richer. And many of them is doesn't have anything to do with healthcare. Just I want to do something for me. I don't feel good. My mother don't feel good. My father doesn't feel good. My children doesn't feel good. I want to do something to help them, included myself. So this really I see is very good, because healthcare should be that way. Healthcare should be is I try to take my own responsibility before end up to having the diabetes, this and that, before like the serious issues. Once we have that, then like our family, it's a have hard time. Yes, community have hard time. Healthcare to have hard time. Sure. Of course, the individual person is the main person paying, so suffering. So for that reason, yes, we all should learn something. We all should do something because the food is that the main supplying our bodily constituents. That the 3 times a day, sometimes even more than 3 times, 4, 5 times, we eat meat. And then sometimes with, oh, I'm gaining weight, so then we continue, we eat. Yes, sometimes with, oh, I have a bloating, still I eat the lentils. Sometimes with, oh, I have difficulty for the sleep, still I drink the coffee. Sometimes with, oh, my skin is everything broken out, but still I drink, liquid. If we know, simple, try to stop the drinking coffee if you don't have sleep, or try to reduce down, or try to make a little lighter instead of very strong. Many different ways we can adjust this based on my own issue. So then that way, don't have to end up into the mental institute or hospital. Yeah, hospital. So this really, I see this, the diet is really, I feel is very good because ancient time, we don't have today's food, so like everything labeled. We are not sitting all day in the office. We are not driving cars all over. Yes. So is we eating more natural food, there's more walking, more sort of like interacting with the nature. Yeah, lifestyle. Yeah, lifestyle is yes. Today if you don't go to the gym, then as you don't move. For her, that is you don't have move, How many people go to the gym? Who has the time? Who has the extra effort to go there? Many of us, ABCD issue, we can't. So, important to follow the diet.
And as I understood, so both people know the school takes care both of people who are interested for their own quality of their own life and a different maybe a different lifestyle, but also professionals, no? That so somehow I see that Tibetan medicine can be very easily integrated even if you are have another healthcare background, no, or you're a doctor, or you are some profession of health, but nevertheless, it's easy to integrate Tibetan medicine in.
Yeah, I think it's once you know how to integrate, it's very important, to know how to integrate. Yes. Otherwise, it's our knowledge became sort of like puzzles here there. But if you know how to connect, also we know that how important to connect everything. Because all the healthcare is healthcare. Yes. Is one important words that my teacher, Rinpoche, he said one time, comes to the patient, they don't care which tradition is treating. They want to get. They just do the one of fear. Yeah, get out of this. That's only their worries. They don't care which tradition is it, ancient tradition or modern tradition. They don't care which tradition. They don't care who's here. Just want to get out of this suffering issue. So for that reason, I think it's which tradition diet doesn't matter, not important. But the important you get a diet work for you. And then once you learned which tradition doesn't matter, you need to learn how to integrate to your existing knowledge and integrate to your life, daily life, integrate to your nature, integrate into your society. So once we're able to do that, then yes, we will have a great benefit.
I have a more technical question because it's in the book and I've heard you before speak about that, no? Actually, the aspect of the diet is very detailed in the central part of this book. when the author is speaking about life, no? And I've noticed that one of the first thing he does is introducing the personalities. You were speaking about personalities, no? I think because I've noticed that, oh wow, this is really specific, no? It reminds me a little bit maybe people are more familiar with Ayurveda and other traditions, even the more ancient Western tradition. But I know it's a huge topic, but maybe you can tell us something very little, very specific to understand, no? Because you said one important aspect when I go for my personal diet is to understand my personality, you know?
Yeah. So in general, when we look in the personality means is that there's something, our own character, something comes with us, without trained, without manipulated, modified. So simply, someone like to talk a lot. So what do we call the talkative, sort of like, But some people don't like to talk, like to be quiet. These two sometimes is people feel is a little strange, One talking too much, one the but it's nothing to do. This is two characteristic. What happened? Want to talk a lot, that person maybe had the more predominant wind element. People does not want to talk, maybe that person is more predominant by the earth and water element. Meantime, also there's one person is very smart, very sharp mind, very determined. But sometimes also too determined, became a little aggressive. This kind of also happens. Sort of like everybody feel like pushing too much, It's not really pushing, that's he or her character. Means is maybe is access of the fire element.
Okay.
Once you have this kind of, and included also physical body, someone skinny, it's more easy like it could be wind predominant. Someone's like myself, sort of like a little choppy. Maybe it's more earth and water element predominant. So this kind of, if we know since the beginning, that my character, my body shapes, my color, like skins, like not indigenous color, but it's like the skin tones, my voice, my habit. If we know which element is more predominant, that means is that the tendency we're going to have towards through that issues. Also, is specific. She's high, have like the wind personality. Likely, I'm going to have sleep issue. And we all know if you're not able to sleep, which kind of problem will brings like a package,
Yes.
Which means that you're going to have all those things like free. You're going to have all those projects they share, nervousness, and then all the fear, anxiety,
Yes.
short temper, make everybody, angry, sort of like, very difficult to work with someone, like a community way, collaboration way. And then this kind of, if we know the personality, since the beginning, try to eat more of like solid food based on the sweet taste, meat productions, grains, vegetables, and they try to use less bitter, hot taste like chili pepper, alcohol. So that way is we can sort of like prevent. And especially the person reach certain age or certain health conditions, like that reach to the menopause. The woman shows the menopause, the man doesn't show the menopause as like woman, but the one that age comes, the hormone changing.
Yes.
Something is changing.
Yes.
So this kind of time before to reach to the menopause, we can do something before to prepare. When we see there is front of us, there is big car, road is not opened, we can do slowly, slow down the car running, you know. If we run till to the crash, it's too late.
Yes.
So it seems like that way, before get there, we can slow down. So that help us to transition is more smoother.
In the different stages of life.
Yeah, it does not mean is it okay if you do that, your menopause not going to happen. No, at first, that is going to happen. But is that the transition is much smoother, you know. The women who has like wise mind, their transitions just like shift to page to the next one. They don't feel any rough transition. Some women, yes, they have very hard time. So these kind of things.
Looks like especially, well, these health issues became, I think people are focusing more and more on their own health. Also, the pandemic brought this, no? We all understood that if we keep a better condition of health, then we are less exposed to other dangers, no? But also, I had the impression that especially women are raising a lot of interest, no? Because interest in the topic of health. So I don't know if you, because I know that I've heard from you that Tibetan medicine has a huge topic connected to women issues and women health, and so I don't know if you would like to briefly tell us something about that.
Yeah.
The importance of women health, not just for women, no?
So in general, when we're looking like a woman is like a center pillars of the house. So that is important to keep the entire roof, you know, like house. So that the figure of the mother is like a center of the family. Many traditions, we have a lot of, you know, to say for the women this way, that way. And also some people think Tibetan culture, also women is something, you know, mistreated, this kind of thing. But individual family, maybe where somehow is happening these kind of things. Fortunately, I never experienced that kind of things. But it's good to the real tradition, sense of the tradition that we call the ma. Ma is that the mother. Mother means is that the where we can base. Mother is where things grow.
Motherland.
Yeah, and mother means is like the room host. Till mother alive, that is your home. So mother means is like a source for the connecting to keep the families like a magnet. So mother has a lot of like the symbolic of the mother for Tibetan culture is very important. So the mother's health, we have a lot of health issues in the mothers in the Tibetan medicine. It took is a very big place, you know. It's even though we say the mother is very important this way, that way, but due to our physical structure, we suffer more than the man.
Mm-hmm.
According to Tibetan medicine, there is 40 more disease women should face and the men don't have to go through.
Connected to their biology.
Yeah, connected to the woman's sisters, you know.
Yes.
So for that reason, yes, women's diet or the woman's treatment is very important. And then if the woman, today's young lady, tomorrow will be the mother, no? And the next day will be grandmother. So this young lady's health is upcoming to produce a healthy children. Healthy children is that the next year that the running the country, society, global. So for that reason, the woman's physical health is important, and the special woman's mental health is important. Plus, the woman's energy health is very important. To have energy to hosting, running, so on and so forth,
Yeah, nowadays women do many things.
So for that reason, yes, that the woman's topic is very important. But the Tibetan medicine diet, what we doing, also I'm telling the students, once they learned, they can apply this diet, can apply individual, as we said before. They can apply based on the personalities. They can apply like a specific for the women's, young women's when they teenager getting like close to the puberty times.
Yes.
And then the first child sort of like time, like a motherhood, young motherhood time. And then later menopause time. So we can divide the woman's age into 3 parts. We can use it that way. And also we can use this sort of like individual, but is if someone has like a heavy disease. Heavy disease, an example we said today we have cancers a lot,
Yes.
Used to flu, and today cancer is coming sort of like dissimilar, the quantity aspect. There's a lot of cancer. Almost everybody gets some degrees of cancer nowadays, very common. So if you treating the cancer with any kind of medicine tradition, special like a Western system, like the chemotherapy, radiotherapy, this kind of thing, the cancer has a medicine which is called the chemotherapy, which is very strong enough to kill the cancer, whatever. But this poor body need to resist fighting to this medicine. The many people having suffering is not the cancer, the therapy, the chemo. And then many people think chemo is bad. I don't believe that chemo is bad. Chemo is strong, yes, I agree. But the problem is the body is too weak.
Resist.
Yeah, to resist such a this strong. If you go to the people who play the basketball, if you're not trained, the first kick to you could be is a lost consciousness, But once you trained, you have the strong body, they can resist the hit and hit again and again. But if we go middle of there,
Yes.
in a right match, yes. So the body is very important to have this capacity to tolerate to the treatment. During the therapy time, what we can do, we can follow certain diet to make sure the body keeps strong. The disease work with the medicine, we keep the body strong, we arrive same place, good place. Disease is gone, body is good, already ready to run to the Yes. But if no, disease is sort of like gone, but the body is too weak.
I cannot make it.
And then not make. Sometimes the treatment is available, but due to your body cannot have that treatment. So it's really this, that. So the diet is very important during the heavy therapy time. The diet became sort of support to the treatment. Treatment became more effective, less side effect. And then another is like after COVID, so this kind of like if you have like heavy disease, the diet is very important to cover the body, restrain the bodily constituents. So this is also diet is very important. Another one also diet is very important, like rejuvenation, to keep the strength.
Yes.
So we can see people who pay more attention to the diet, their skin's complexion,
And also their energy, and just the physical.
Sometimes people comes, oh, I'm 70 years old. I feel, oh, what? You're 70.
Yes.
It looks like, late 40, beginning of the 50s, sort of like. And then when we ask, yes, they have a really good diet behavior. So for that reason, good diet also is able to extend your life.
Good quality.
To have good health means is possibility to have long life. Not only long life, but as you said, is with a good, productive life. So the diet is like, can use like prevent, can use like support the therapy, can use like recover from the weakness of the health, and also can help to keep the body as it is, So for that reason, I think it's that today the lot of people has interest to learn diet, but I think this is really it's a good sense. And then finally, we all learning something. The diet's important.
So I think, it's something you use every day. Is in your kitchen. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and in supplements, treatments, or because in any case we eat, as you said.
Absolutely. And then, as you said, is today shows more women's this kind of interest. The woman characteristic of the woman is we say is the solar system or the nature of the solar means is to give the life. Woman interest is happy, healthy peace. That is woman's goal. I don't think a lot of women has a goal to invent in somewhere and then to get bigger land, bigger this, bigger that. I don't think many women does that.
Seems the war is more male. No,
the women is simply like a happy, peace, healthy, cohesive family.
Yes.
So for that reason, woman says the woman has nature of the solar system, or the solar nature is more warm, calm, sympathy, empathy towards to the people sufferings. So for that reason, I think women brings more like the news of the sufferings, and they wanted to do something for that. So also when I had chance, I try to understand what the reason they can do the program. Sometimes I have chance, sometimes I don't have chance because we have international student, and mainly we're running with three languages. One is English speaker, one is Russian, Eastern European language speakers, and one is a Spanish speaker. So I have very limited language issues. Spanish, I don't get well. Russian either. So many times I did not manage to talk really with the student. But when I have chance, I try. And then I was really interested why they choose this kind of program, why they're coming to this is really fascinating.
Generally the support, there's
But not only women, but there's some men comes. They also have very interesting goals, reasons, and then they're also very determined. So
that give hope. Looks like there is a part of humanity that more and more is interested in benefit others. Thanks for your time. I just have one last question for you. You mentioned before, and I think it's something especially after the pandemic became very evident now. First, there was more the physical emergency, but after it seems like also there was a mental emergency, So, and also this is mentioned in the book, there is an important aspect of the mind, and I'm referring to also emotions, how we cope with those emotions that seemed more and more common, especially after the pandemic. I'm talking about anxiety, fear, a lot of depression. Statistics said even among young people, teenagers, depression is more and more common. This mental aspect, I'm curious, about what is the approach of Tibetan medicine or any suggestion that you would like to give.
The mental health one is, yes, you are right, gradually recent years, some reason Maybe the diet, maybe the behavior. I don't know where is that the main issues. We are becoming weaker and weaker, especially the mental aspect. Like ancestors, every culture must be, is really, even though the physical is not healthy, age is not young, but the mind is really, yes, that's true. They have really positive attitude and then very tolerance. Yeah, they could resist worries and big things without all brave. Yeah, all like the obstacles they able to go through. But today is even very small issue comes, then we are already so dramatically rattling. So this also one, I don't know where is that issue is, but is I have seen facing that a lot. And the particular since the pandemic and the more sort of like produce this kind of thing. But it comes to the working, I think there's two things that as a Tibetan medicine working in this kind of field, what I see. Number one is that our own understanding, because we always expecting life should be this way, Like, we say, oh, if you get in Argentina, must be summer, so weather should be like a 25 to 30 degrees sort of level, And then if that goes up, we are not don't like it. Go down, then we are disappointed. Yes. But is it true to nature is it can be changed any moment. If we sense at beginning, the life could change any moment. Nothing stable changing. But once they change to the bad, no worry. They can change again to the good. If the good don't too exciting, because they put change to the bad. If we sense at beginning accepting this kind of, I think much better for us. Yeah, so got more used to the everything transport. Yeah, change, So, say, okay, change, that's fun. I can wear more layers on the clothes or less, Or if the hot, I have one more layers, then that's fun. Over one head will stay somewhere, There is a word of saying in Spanish that says, okay, if it rains lemon, we're going to do lemonade. And yeah. So I think this is that something we as individual, we can sort of like get to learn. Life is not something that like reading stories. Life is you need to go through the experience day by day, can have all kinds of taste, even which is good. Then that is we learned experience. Every sorrow, problems, sadness, all is end. It is useful to learn something, experience. So this, I think, is one each of us we could have thinking that. So maybe that would help to tolerance to that. Another one as a professional aspect. If we labor many things, depression, this, that, once someone get a labor of the mental health, I don't think they likes. Then they don't live life. Yeah, then they try to do more strange things. That is my opinion. So what I try to work with the people, I work a lot this kind of mental health also when I'm in Tibet. I was quite well known to working, like a crazy people. All of the Tibet brings the most heavy crazy people try to get to me. So it means I'm pretty good on top of that. Doctor for the crazy people. Yeah, doctor for the crazy people. I always try to say, you are normal like me. Only issue is your wind is a little high or low or whatever that the things. Once we manage that fixed, you are okay. But importantly, you need to know you are okay, so you should do same other people okay. If you try to do different, then they will judge you. So I try to trust them give them the authorities, and then somehow they're surprised. Or you're the only one person thinking I'm not crazy. So since you see I'm not crazy, so I have chance to go back to, not crazy sort of like stages. So that's really, I see this is sometimes is useful. But of course, if someone really sick, they need to treat. But comes to the treatment, those people sometimes we think is makes us angry because of their mental the spiritual function. But the truth is that that person the most who need help, the mental people. Physical people, at least they know what they should do. But since the imbalance of the element, like a natural disaster, we cannot shut like the natural disasters, fighting with the natural disaster, nothing happens, Try to help who has the problems. Same like that, like try to help them many different way. Special, try to give them our concern, our support, our trust, and we consider you as a normal person. So that's, I think, it's useful, important. And when we talk more about the treatment or the way Tibetan medicine treats mental issues, can you tell us something? Yes, Tibetan medicine, it comes to the mental health, we believe could connect with the raw 5 element or subtle 5 element. Comes to the treatment, more like diet behave than more diet medicine than the behave. So the behave is really important because connect to the subtle element. Breathing is good, yoga is good, meditation is good, singing music is good, be with a good friend is good, be in the nature is good. So all those things are integrated. Yeah, all those is a medicine and a treatment. Yeah, associations of the treatment because it's nature is such a strong power to heal. Under sunlight, under moon is a healing. Because there has a like a potential to balance, to harmonize. And you mentioned an important aspect, the breathing. Yep. And then once we get outside there or inside there, what do we need to do first? We need to breathing. Yes. So when we're breathing, then we try to breathe as much as can do deep. Slowly inhale, slowly exhale. Inhaling time, think all the pure element, pure things, inhaling. Exhaling time, think all the dirty, toxic, disease, exhaling. Inhaling all the power of the compassion. Because we all need love, kind, compassions. So try to inhale all the power of the compassion. Exhaling time, try to exhale all the anger, hatred, jealousy, attachment, those kind of like hatred, toxic. And then end the time, you think, okay, now it's pure clean. You do this kind of thing, inhaling, exhaling practice day by day. One day you feel automatically my body is clean, my mind is clean. Of course, once you've done this breathing session, then you need to keep your attitudes, pure attitudes, positive attitude, try to integrate as much as you can into your daily life. Then I imagine meditation carries a bit the role how to train the mind to keep. Absolutely. So now there is a lot of professional, the teachers, qualified teacher teaching. Also, we have this wonderful, we call the Yantra Yoga. Tibetan yoga for us is transmitted from the Nanganobu Rinpoche. So now we have a lot of qualified teachers trained under him. So it's access. Also, I see there's many other yogas. All of them is good, but I'm more connected to the Yanta yoga. So Yanta yoga is good. Yanta yoga has many aspects: preliminary part, more serious part, breathing part. There's many aspects: common aspect part, uncommon aspect part. Then you can access which level you interest and you are eligible. Meantime, also then there is a dance, like a Vaja dance is really good for the relaxed mental health. And especially I tell people good to dance Omahom. There's one week called Omahom, the three bodies, body, mind, speech, sort of like three energy. It's just listening the music is sort of like automatically you want to move with the music. Automatically you feel like relaxed. Automatically you sort of like disconnect with all your, like problems and thoughts. And so I go and tell people really good to dance on my home. That's it. You do that, But sometimes not only anxiety, fears, but is full of depressions, yes, like heaviness. Then maybe you do not need meditations. Already is slow sunken enough. Go to dance, kaida dance. Jump up, down, singing songs, listen musics. Go to party. Go there where the people dancing. To have a glass of something. To try to bring up the life,
Cheer yourself.
Yeah, cheer yourself. Go with a good companion. Don't talk the politics.
Yeah, that is a good. In every country, I think that is a very good suggestion.
Something that what you can do, what we can do to make laughing us. There is things. Yes. Sometimes is serious topic talk is useful, but sometimes silly is more useful than the serious. So I think is that comes to the emotional problems, the behave aspect, even though it's a dance, you can do like a gentle dance up to like a rocky dance, based on your element which predominates. So sustainable body. Yes, it's very useful. I sort of like suggest a lot my patients. I don't call patient, but it's really I call more like friends, people who follow the herbs. Really, all the time I tell them, go to do this, man. Go to breathe. Sometimes I just look a blue flower. That's it. So then they come back and they say, thank you. It's working. It's working. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate your staying with us, and I have this feeling of some really ancient wisdom coming through, no? Some things are common sense, but sometimes we tend to forget that traditional common sense also has its reason. As you've heard, Dr. Phuntsog has mentioned many aspects connected to the school, connected to activities. She mentioned Yantra Yoga, she mentioned Vajra dance. So here below you can find more information and of all those aspects if people are interested to know more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.